begin, we'd just like to show you what the current track conditions are like. We're due to start racing in about 5 minutes. And let's just get started with our intro videos. Okay, welcome back to Model Club Thionvillois in France. And there's our runners and riders for the 1/4 B final. As you can see, that's Gerhard Kendelhart from Austria, Maxime Leguet from France, Mario Spiniello from Italy, Dennis Weihert from Germany, Teddy Vandal from France, Henrik Eilers from Germany, Patrick Fankhauser from the Czech Republic, Peter de Silva from, that's Switzerland, isn't it? Peter de Silva from France, Aurélien Viconia from France, Mert Koroglu from Turkey, and we are in the warm-up period for the quarterfinal B, rapidly to be followed by the quarterfinal A. We are starting a bit later than normal. All we can do is apologize for the weather delays. Many discussions amongst the racers and the team managers and the race officials. That's sort of the order of, I guess the chain of command, would be the way to describe it. And so here we are at the EFRA 1/10 IC Track European Championships for 2024. As I said, in Thionville, France, just south of Luxembourg, about an hour south of Luxembourg City itself. Almost right on the Maginot Line, if you're a fan of World War II history or World War I or general European history. And we are nearly ready to go. Drivers coming into the pits, as you can see. We'll just go to our pit cam. You see lots of drivers and mechanics waiting in the pits. We have our chicane cam set up. Here's our first chicane set up there. You can see the approach and that almost straight line driving line that you can take through the S's there. Our final chicane cam here and the approach onto the main straight is there. And here's our main cam showing cars coming out of the pits. Still warm-up period. So thank you very much to everyone who has joined us. Do appreciate you tagging along and seeing what the conditions are like today at this moment. Things seem to change by the hour here, so it's making it extremely difficult for the racers and even more difficult for the drivers. Whoa, That was not intended. Little style spin, not the plan there. So we can see mechanics taking the cars out onto the starting grid. We've got first, third, fourth, sixth, seventh. Someone, number 8 car running in. That's the mechanic for Karol Krajcik. Oh, that was number 9, actually. Klaus Reiskov coming in. No, mechanic standing in the wrong area. Okay, so we're missing a couple of cars. But everyone is checked in. No, not everyone is on. I think this car has to start from the pit lane after everyone's gone. So we're following the lead 3 cars again. And they are off very gingerly. This battle for second is already joined. Very, very tender steps. Anyone who's raced RC cars in the wet knows what it's like. You cannot go full throttle out of these turns. Very, very ginger. So let's see. So it's Candlehart crossing line first, and then Spiniello from Italy running an X-ray. I think Candlehart also running an X-ray, but I might be wrong there. So we've got Candlehart, Legay, Spiniello, and Weihert. It's a 20-minute race, as you can see. Clock is counting down at the top right. And we've got 20 minutes of action. These cars probably going to be able to get 4.5 or 5 minutes of... Oh, and a spin for the leader. Let's see what that has done to... We just barely caught it. We'll see when it's a good time to do a replay, but he had a good lead, about a half a second. Whoa. And we'll see what happened at the end. Just a spin, and then the second and third places of Spiniello and Legay catching up. And it's a 3-way battle for the lead. So he's just barely holding on. Now it's a 4-way battle. Looks like Spiniello's leading this one at the moment. No, it's a white and yellow car. Not sure if that's a new leader. Yes, it's still Candlehart, who's managed to break away. So Spiniello and Legay. Spiniello, this is our battle for third, so we're going to be concentrating on this one. And they touch, just the slightest touch, and he's into the grass. That was Legay. Spiniello getting away with that one. Absolutely a racing incident, I would say. But it's up to the referees. We are not the final arbiters of who's done what out on track. Now it's a 3-way battle for second now. So it's Spiniello leading. Legay, as you can see, dropped down to 5th. Fankhauser and Weihert. So see what happens now coming into that first turn. Very tight. We'll start to swap the cameras now. So Spiniello now running second. Oh, has the inside line coming out of the Omega, but let's see what happens coming into and out of this final chicane. Line astern. Fankhauser taking over second now. Fankhauser in that white and yellow car. Spiniello very eager to get past. Very tight brakes. And now coming around the Omega and into the hairpin. So Candlehart still leading this one. Candlehart with about, was that not a massive lead. Only about a second ahead on track of these two here. Let's go to the white, see who crosses here. Let's stick with these yellow cars. So coming through very tight. You do not want to touch anyone because you might be okay and the other car might spin, but it's a very high chance of you spinning. So this is Fankhauser and Spiniello. I think Candlehart is this lead yellow car. I'm pretty sure, yes, that's the number 1 you can see just on the side. Ooh, very wide, taking the karting line. Around the hairpin now. You can see them, this is Candlehart coming through first, and then Spiniello in third. Candlehart just holding on to his lead. So about just under 16 minutes remaining now. So we're going to start to see some pit stop action. And whoever we're with, we'll just follow them into the pits if they come into the pits. So just be ready, Jim. It's going into the first corner. And here they are going into those S's. Very tight. You can see the elevation change there. It is very difficult for these drivers. This top three will be bumping up into the semifinal B, remember. So we are following, not coming into the pit now. So this is our lead battle. Spiniello is still running third. Legay is a couple seconds behind him, so it's not really a battle. So this is our only battle on track at the moment. Fankhauser, or Candlehart, going for the wide line still on that line there. Let's see what he does here. Ooh, a little sideways. Now we have a change for lead. Change for lead. Fankhauser taking, oh, but Candlehart coming into the pits. It's our first pit stop, I think, of the top drivers. Oh, and a spin coming out. He's stuck. That's going to be a terrible lap time. So he's going to give up a few seconds there now. So we'll stick with him and see where Fankhauser ends up after he pits. Can't see the pit lane from where I'm stood, so I don't want to switch away from the racing action. Candlehart going for that wide line still. Let's see what that does to his lap time. Candlehart with the 37-second lap. There's 12 seconds extra for that time. Fankhauser way out in front now. About 9 seconds ahead on track, so Fankhauser may have just pitted on the last lap. Still 9 seconds ahead. But still, Candlehart, this is our second place driver, so it's not someone we're going to switch away from just yet. We'll let this, ooh, and a spin coming out of the S's. Weihert now running third. Legay, then Spiniello. De Silva, Eilers, Koroglu, Vandal, and Viconia not starting this one. We saw someone starting from the pit lane because they were not able to get onto the start line in time. Quite strict here, just like MotoGP racing, if you're familiar with that. And a very slow, that's a dead car. We're not sure what number that was, but super unfortunate for that. So we're still with Candlehart. See if I can spot where the car 4 is when they cross. It may be the next car behind, but we'll see. Yes, so if we wait there, Jim. And the next car across, this, I think, that's Spiniello, actually. No, this is Legay. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. No, sorry, that is Spiniello. The number's a bit high, so it makes it look cut off. So Spiniello running third. So Weihert, we're looking for Weihert and Legay. Weihert is just across the line, so he's going to be the next car going into the S's, Jim. This should be Weihert, car number 4. So the purple and yellow, if we can remember that one. I can't. Yes, that is a car 4. So this is our third place, our final bump up position. Again, top 3 bumping up. And don't worry if you're just joining us. Haven't run through the top qualifiers and the drivers in the semis so far. We kind of jumped straight into this quarterfinal B. Quarterfinal A to follow next. There'll be about a 10-minute break, I think. Everything is quite variable because of the weather, so we do apologize. It's not our fault. It's not the organizers' fault. It's not the clubs or the racers or EFRA's fault or anyone's fault. It's just the weather. It's what we're dealing with. So when we arrived, it was very, 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 very wet. Heavy rain coming down, and it's basically stopped for a while. Unfortunately, until our enforced lunch break, which goes from 2 to 12 noon Central European time to 2. So try to remember to get some of our, there's our S-cam action, or chicane cam. I'm just calling it all sorts of names, aren't I? Around the arrowhead comes Weihert. Legay is Not very far behind. We'll see where Legay pops up. But here's Weihert in that purple car, zipping past our second chicane cam. Legay is, I think it's another 7 seconds is what that is. It's the gap to the car in front. Computer's waiting for Legay. So basically, Weihert has this sewn up if he can maintain position, but we're due another round of pit stops any minute now. Not this time around. Maybe next time around. Fankhauser and Candlehart, 13 seconds apart, so no real bump-up racing action happening at the moment. Can all change. Someone can end up in the grass, touch a curb a little bit too much. There's no standing water on the track, really. Cars are running the wet tires, so they can run whatever foams or rubbers they wish. There's a variety of tires out there. I saw sets of pit Shimizus. I saw foam tires that have been soaking in water all night, because basically that's how the foam tires work. Is they get soaked up with water, and then even though the water, here we go. So we got to have a pit directly under cameraman Jim and back out. Good pit stop. That's a fantastic pit stop. In and out. I believe that's Armin pitting. So it's Armin used to pit for Yillis Grosskamp. Around the hairpin and into our second chicane cam. I'm very tempted to say Shaka Khan. Second chicane cam. So, and into our first chicane cam. There we go. It's a bit, ooh, that's a bit iffy. It's very stuttery there for some reason. Doesn't like something over there. Doesn't like something. Not sure what it is. Gonna try something here. A complicated technical solution of turning the receiver and seeing what that does. It's a little better, but we're going to blame the weather on this one. Legay in fourth place, just crossing the line. So, ooh, and that's not expecting the car to slow down there, potentially. And coming through our second chicane cam, and a little bit of a bobble over that middle apex. So we're following the purple and yellow car. Oh, and nearly into, that's a little bit too much steering there. And I think this is Candlehart, actually. So this might be a battle for second. No, Weihert has managed to make another gap. So Legay has now moved up into third. So let's see where he is at, the car 2. I think it's one of these two cars behind Weihert. Let's just see where, I think the next car along is going to be Legay. Yes, so if we drop back one car, Jim, I think it's going to be the pink car. There we go. This is Maxime Legay. I don't know if he's a local racer, but he's certainly French. So car number 2 here. Candlehart must have come in for a long pit because he's dropped from second to fourth in the last couple of laps, and Legay has come into pit. See where he comes in. And back out. And there he goes into the S's. Not quite straight lining them, but I don't think anybody is going to successfully straight line that with their view from the rostrum. Our main camera here that you're watching right now is our the same view that racers will see, just obviously from slightly different angles going left and right, mostly to the left. So Legay crossing line still in third. Eilers, who is in 4th place, is 2 laps behind. So no danger of Legay at the moment, unless there's a flame out or it's stuck on the grass a couple times or several times probably. Highly unlikely for Legay to be challenged now. It's the final, we're approaching the final 5 minutes. So there will be another pit stop. You can just hear them just feathering that throttle, going that wah, 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 as they're going through the sweeper. So absolutely not full speed and no full throttle application yet. We'll see what happens. And so now we're under 5 minutes, so we're still going to be looking at another fuel stop for Legay and everyone else. So that anything could happen, like I said. Vandal now in 5th. Eilers has dropped back even further. So the gap between Fankhauser to Weihert in 1st to 2nd is 2 laps, and then another 13 seconds back to Legay. Spinello has fallen behind. Kandahar, who started pole, is several laps behind Legay here. At least 6 laps. So unfortunate for our pole man from Austria, I believe. He's actually pulled off. He hasn't done a lap in quite a while. Neither is De Silva. Viconia, unfortunately, not starting this one from the number 9 position. Koroglu, number 0 car, many laps behind, but still running. Spinello is also still running. Eilers in 5th, Vandal 4th, Legay 3rd, who we are with still. The number 2 pink car with the black wing. And the tiniest touch, that's, yeah, completely fine. There's those 2 cars coming through the final chicane cam. One peels off into the pits. Still waiting for Legay to come in, probably in the next minute or so. That's going to be about 2, maybe 3 laps. Lap times are about 25 seconds. These guys, when they're quick, they're doing maybe 18-second lap times. Ooh, that's going to be a very slow lap time. There's Spinello coming up, but that's he's at least 3 laps behind. So Legay can let him go. There's no need to challenge anyone. And ideally, what Legay's mechanic would be telling him is that this car that's just passed you, and it seems like they're challenging. They're not actually challenging. Just let them go. You are many laps ahead of this car. Because otherwise that kind of, well, racers know what it's like. Get very antsy, your hands start shaking even more on the stand. So we're down to 2.5 minutes now. Coming around the hairpin, going into our final chicane. You can see him just coming here, that pink dot zipping past onto the sweeper. Coming here, he goes into the pits. This is Legay. So 7-8 seconds behind Weihert, and he goes out of the pits. Some pit cam action. Into the S's. So a minute and about a minute and 40 seconds left. Coming back onto the straight, crossing the line, still in 3rd, yes. So 16 seconds behind Weihert, who's 2 laps behind Fankhauser. We've been following Maxime Legay in 3rd place, who's our final bump-up position. There's no real need to keep following. So I'll see if we go forward a car to the yellow car, Jim. That's the one. These 2 yellow cars, actually. These might be... So Fankhauser is the leading yellow car. So let's go to the brighter yellow car. This is our race leader, the white and yellow car of Patrick Fankhauser. Number 7. That's quite a low starting position to be basically winning this race. And going to be the first of the bump-up racers to come across in 2 laps' time. Nope, that one there. Coming into the arrowhead. So this lap and one more for Patrick Fankhauser. Coming to our chicane cam again. And there we go. One more lap to go for Patrick Fankhauser. And cars are going to start to finish. Fankhauser, Weihert, and Legay is still our bump-up positions. Eilers, Vandal, Spiniello, Kandahart, Koroglu, De Silva, and Viconia missing out on the bump-up into the semifinal B. And there we go. That's Patrick Fankhauser finishing, not even getting a victory lap, straight into the pits. So there we go. Fankhauser, Weihert, and Legay are bump-up racers going into the semifinal Bs. So we'll just have a very quick word from our sponsors. And we'll catch you up on, well, most of the things that have been going on this week. After this screen, who is our official finishing order. Okay, so very much want to thank our sponsors, X-Ray and Lens Bodies, for bringing, and RCXX Shop for helping us bring you this coverage of the EFRA 1/10 IC Track European Championships for 2024. As you can see, we have racers in the pits, cars in the pits, and mechanics ready for the 1/4 A finals, which are going to be kicking off in just a few minutes. So we have a warm-up period, so we still have a few minutes for this one. Don't worry, you haven't missed anything yet. So very quick catch-up. Weather has been the big news of the week, changing things all the time. We do have this 1/4 A final, and then we have our very long lunch break of about an hour and a half, because the reasons why is because of NIMBYs, basically. Housing area nearby has enforced, town council has enforced a quiet period during the middle of the day, basically, so the club is unable to run Nitro cars during the middle of the day. And then from 1:30 local time, it's Central European time, we've got, there's our runners and riders in the next group. I will go through the names. Lots of French, lots of Austrians, and a Dutch racer, and Uri Hudi, who's obviously from X-Ray. So, yes, so lots of weather stoppages. If you were watching our coverage yesterday, we had basically the three examples of what could happen during a wet race. We had a full stoppage after 15 minutes of racing. Well, 75% racing. Of the 20 minutes is 15 minutes, so EFRA officials stopped the race at that point. And then we had lots and lots of rain in the following race, which stopped the rain before stopped the race before 15 minutes. And then so they ran basically a second race, and then combined the results of those to have the official finish, official results of the 1/16 A final. And then we had an actual race that went all the way through for 20 minutes. So there's your three examples of what can happen with the racing. So all the races so far today are under wet conditions, meaning the control hot race tire no longer needed. You can run any tire that you wish. I believe any traction compound you wish can be used as well. Obviously, it has to be an EFRA approved traction compound because there's very, very dangerous and smelly and poisonous ones, toxic ones. But basically, most people are running rain foam tires or damp conditioned foam tires. So if you think of them as intermediate tires for F1, that's kind of what they've got. They're still slick. I mean, they're physically, if you look at them, they're slick, but they're very, very extremely soft foam. And what a lot of racers do is soak them in the water, so you don't go out on absolutely bone-dry tires. You go out with soaking wet tires, and that basically helps soften the foam even further and basically gives the grip in these sorts of conditions where there's not standing water, but the track is very damp. Top 4 racers from qualifying have qualified straight into the main final, which is going to kick off at the moment at 3:30 local time. And those racers are Dario Balestre, Jellis Grosskamp, Tony Gruber, and Alex Thurston. And so the racers in this one, Uri Hudi has not checked in yet, apparently. But we've got Stefan Strasser, the bearded one with the yellow car, in the lead, on pole anyway. Jean-Marie Glorenek, Werner Spanbruckner, Anthony Brivois, Christoph Silov, Roman Landre. Car number 7 is missing at the moment, Uri Hudi. Nathan DeMarco in the car 8, Freddie Pellois, and Franz Engel. And we are about to get started. Again, top 3 racers will be bumping up into the semifinal A. Oh no, Marshall not allowed to go out. That's the car 8 of Nathan DeMarco, has to start from the pit. So, unfortunately, not able to get started. Once the marshals are placing the cars on the pit, marshals are not allowed, or mechanics are not allowed to get out onto the track. And here's another dead car. I'm not sure which car that is. Are they stopping the race? I don't think so. No, doesn't sound like they are. So a lot of confusion down there. Some of the mechanics just not aware of what is supposed to happen at the start of the race. Once the mechanics have put the cars down on the grid, you're not allowed to run out across the track, which is effectively a live track, and put a car down. So we're following the battle of the third place cars, just about to come through the green and the white and blue, or white and black car. This is our third place battle. This is Franz Engel and Werner Spanbruckner in the white car. Franz Engel in the green and pink. Spanbruckner, I kind of have to cheer for him a little bit because I've got a bottle of Frucade from Austria, very specific Austrian orange soda drink. Oh, he's going on the grass. It's not the quick way around, but oh, and he's dipping in. He's trying the hook-in method like rally car drivers. So Glorenek in the lead, Strasser, then Engel. Spanbruckner in the white car, chasing down Engel. Oh, and he got it. He did it. That was a pass for third. Say it again. Coming out of the hairpin. Engel going just a bit wide. And then Spanbruckner also going wide. But then... Wow, and then on the grass. That's not the way to go, Werner. Oh, and then a spin for the 0 of Engel. So that lets Spanbruckner catch up just a little bit. Meanwhile, behind them, Pellois and Brivois also battling over 4th place. So let's stay with this green car because Spanbruckner may be able to catch up a bit. Wasn't too keen about racing in the rain, racing in the wet. A lot of racers don't. It does require basically a second entire whole car. Have to protect the engine, keep water splashes off of the air filter, and that was not Spanbruckner spinning off there. Spanbruckner's they're just coming into shot. So we might have, this might be Pellois, who's the next car behind Engel. Oh, no, that's another pass. That was Spanbruckner getting past then. Yes, Spanbruckner into the third place position. So following the white car now, with Engel in the green, now chasing Spanbruckner. And this is how the pass happened. For position, a little weird spin there. A little bit too much counter steer. And then Spanbruckner able to cut underneath. Very easy. When you can get a pass with an unforced error, that's the easiest way to do it. Spanbruckner now with a 2.5 second lead. And I think, is that more rain has just started falling. Rain has just started falling. So we've been without rain for an hour or so. However, it has already been declared a wet race, so officials not going to stop it unless we get the massive bow wave action that we saw in yesterday's, I think it was the 16th A final. So I saw there was a massive puddle just there at the second apex of the final chicane, but the club has it's very well drained there, and they were able to clear the drain, and so basically all the water just like a toilet bowl just went straight down and cleared that. So there's still a skin of water over that, but it's not the very deep puddle that it was before. Ooh, over the grass, very slight cut, but it's all right. 4.8 seconds now is Spanbruckner to Glorenik, but also behind Spanbruckner, a further 5.2 seconds is Franz Engel. So Spanbruckner sort of in a space of his own. And you can keep an eye on that green car behind. Oh, and he's over the grass and flips over. So this is going to give Engel a really good chance. Now they're nearly together. It's not even a second apart now. So this is our battle for third, coming down the main straight now. The white car and the green car. Engel going very wide. Engel sniffing blood now. With the rain coming down. Coming around the hairpin. Spanbruckner still holding on to his lead, but Engel, now going over the grass himself. So about a second and 1.9 seconds across the line that time. And then Engel spins, so giving Spanbruckner a big break after his own mistake going into this part of the track here at the hairpin. So Spanbruckner down the straight at a very moderate speed. I haven't actually seen him pit, but I imagine he has. None of these cars can make 7 minutes. They should be able to make 5 because they're just going so slow compared to when they're going in the dry, and they need to do about a 4-minute 15, 4-minute 20 gap between pits, fuel stops. Highly unlikely to get any wheel changes or tire changes in these lower finals. Probably in the final if it's dry, but we'll just have to see. We saw lots of the drivers practicing their pit stops yesterday. Spanbruckner comes in, that number 3. We'll go to pit lane cam just underneath there. There's our Austrian team manager, Michael. And that's our battle for third. That's our battle for third in the pits. They came in at the same time, so now they're very close together. They were 2 seconds apart. Now they're maybe a quarter second apart. Engel not wanting to bump Spanbruckner, so kind of handicapping himself there. But good sportsmanship, not wanting to bump Spanbruckner. Possibly more because they are actual teammates and pitting together. Both Austrian racers. One of these two at the moment will be bumping up, but there's still 12 minutes. That means at least 2 more pit stops left, so anything can happen here. These guys knew since basically since Thursday evening that they'd be in the quarterfinal together. Actually, Engel didn't. He raced earlier today. So he's one of our bump-up racers. He was our third-place bump-up racer from the 1/8A final. So maybe it's experience has helped him move from the 10 spot to the 4. Very tender around that sweeper going into that first turn. So coming into the Omega now, these two drivers just about a half a second apart each. Countrymen and teammates, they came into pit together and tried to come out together, but not able to change position, and actually came together very slightly. Probably be a team penalty. Paying a there goes Spanbruckner. No, back one car. These two, the green and the white car. Spanbruckner spun out at the hairpin, letting Engel by. So now Spanbruckner under pressure. Oh, and he hits a lap car. Spanbruckner under big pressure now. Still over 10 minutes, so there's plenty of time. But they're coming through back markers and trying to make a... Oh, that was a good pass there through the second of the chicanes. See what Spanbruckner's able to do here on this white car. The middle white car, Spanbruckner straight lining that chicane, coming onto the main straight. Excellent pass on the lap traffic. So that lets him maintain his position and actually catch up at this point now. Coming out of that chicane, both of them over the curb just a little bit. It's going to be another couple minutes before they both come in for the pit. High drama for the Austrian team. Strasser, Glorenik in the first and second spots, running just about a second and a half apart. So if... Oh, and Spanbruckner's in the grass. Spanbruckner goes in the grass. And that is not Engel who's in the grass there. Different car. Engel is, now about 7 seconds ahead. You can see him just there at the bottom of the shot. So let's go to the green car now, Jim, at the hairpin. There we go. This is Engel. So we'll keep an eye on base. Oh, and that's big spin coming out. Coming onto the main straight for Engel, hitting that curb. And bam, lifting up the back end, spinning up the wheels, and just losing traction on the back. And that has allowed Spanbruckner to make up about a second of time. So he was about, I think it was 6.9, 6.1 as across the line there. Let's see if Spanbruckner is able to make up time again. Couple more seconds and we'll see. So 6.3 now, so he's lost a bit of time, but basically we're following Engel here in the car 0, the green with the pink wing, because if he makes a big mistake, that allows Spanbruckner to catch up to him again and pile the pressure on for these last 8 minutes. Engel's drifting out of the last corner, coming into our S's here, and here's our chicane cam going in and just able to motor past the lap traffic that Spanbruckner got caught up with previous, and a slide coming out of the hairpin, out of the S. Look at this slide. Woo! Get some underbody lights on that. That was a great drift and controlling it as well. These guys running very, very heavy diff oil. 2 million or 2.5 million. That was another great avoidance measure there. Dead car in the sweeper. Spanbruckner making up a lot of time on that lap now. 4.9 seconds. Because of that spin, or half spin, for Engel. and avoiding slowing down for that dead car on the sweeper going into the first turn. So what Spanbruckner is up to now, back up to 6.2. So Spanbruckner must have had a mistake off camera. Again, it's down to Engel here, who did run earlier today, so he's very familiar with the track conditions. A full 20-minute race in the same exact conditions. We did have some rain earlier, just a few minutes ago. I think the rain has paused for a little while. We're going to get at least, yes, just one more pit stop for Engel, who we're following. Last of the bump-up positions. Spanbruckner, Austrian countryman, trying to chase him down. Ooh, and another big spin coming onto the there. Okay, and now here is Engel. We'll see if Spanbruckner comes in for his pit. Engel coming out. There's Spanbruckner coming in at the same time. And back out. Engel making a mistake coming onto the grass, coming through the first chicane. And we'll see what the lap, what the gap time is as it cross the finish line. There's Engel crossing now. 31 laps completed. Spanbruckner 5.8, so actually lost a half a second, even though twice in a row now Engel has gone over the grass in the S's. As he comes around the avoiding lap traffic, you can just see Spanbruckner now has made up some time. Engel keeps going over that curb and losing about a half a second probably every time he gets sideways coming onto the main straight. So now Spanbruckner's gap is only 3.9 seconds, so he's made up 2 seconds in the space of just a couple of laps. But it looks like maybe Engel has calmed down his driving just a little bit. So Spanbruckner is that 3 cars behind now. Not the white car immediately behind, but 2 more cars. Engel, Spanbruckner now, he's lost a second in lap traffic. So not a great cornering there from Engel through the arrowhead and letting, who's that getting by? That may be one of our leaders. I think it's either Glorenik or Strasser. Yeah, it was Glorenik, who's now gone into pits, as we saw just at the bottom of the screen there. Spanbruckner now at 4.4 seconds. So in clear traffic, making up, he's the next car behind is Spanbruckner. That white flash at the back of the screen. So for the next couple of laps, Spanbruckner has no cars between him and Engel, so we'll see what he's able to do. 4.4 seconds last time around was the gap. And now it is 4.2, so running about even. It comes down to a mistake. And then when it comes to lap traffic, that's probably the big deciding factor. Coming onto the main straight once again. So we're following Franz Engel from Austria being chased by countryman Werner Spanbruckner now with a 3-second gap. And now it's going to be even less. Just a bit less, just under 3 seconds. So 3 minutes remaining. Is Spanbruckner going to be able to put the pressure on his teammate, Franz Engel? Oh, and there we go. That's a big mistake from Engel, but that is not Spanbruckner behind him. That's just one of the lap cars with a white body shell. Spanbruckner with a white car with a black wing. But that was a massive mistake by Engel. Spanbruckner also made a huge mistake and lost, even though Engel probably lost about 3 seconds on that mistake. Spanbruckner was not able to capitalize and actually lost time. So 2 minutes remaining now. You can hear Engel's engine just barely, just idling almost on the straight. Spanbruckner losing another couple seconds, so that may have put the end to his challenge, but we'll see. There's still 2 minutes to go. Anything can happen on these in these conditions, and another mistake from Engel, just a very small one though that time. He knows he needs to keep it shiny side up and keep the nose pointing forward. That was one of our, I believe that was Glorenik, who's just passed Engel. It may have been Strasser, actually. No, Strasser's running a yellow car. I know that. If I see the beard, I think yellow car. So that's Stefan Strasser, another Austrian. So if Austrians running second, third, and fourth. So we're following Engel because he is the final bump-up position to go into the semi-final A here at the EFRA European Championships for 1/10 icy track. And a big mistake by Engel. So is that going to give Spanbruckner some hope in this final minute? So Spanbruckner's gap now down to 4.5. Another one or two of those in these last two laps, and Engel will give up. Mistake from that was an easy pass on the lap traffic there, so no harm, no foul. Engel's going to have loads of track time by the time he gets to the semifinal, if he does make it there. So last lap for everybody, at least the ones that we're watching. Spanbruckner, I think, just made a mistake off camera. One of the white cars behind. Last single seconds, and time is expired. This is Franz Engel from Austria taking the final bump-up position. And Strasser now crossing the line as well, taking second. Glorenik yet to finish to take first. And he doesn't really even need to finish, but he does on 46 laps. 45 for Strasser, 44 for Engel. Spanbruckner, super unfortunate to miss out on that one. There's our official finishing times. Just a second and a half in it after all of that between Werner and Franz. So, of course, as you can hear, maybe the announcer, all cars to technical inspection, because these are provisional results, but that is it. So we do want to thank everybody for joining us. We do have an EFRA broadcast channel set up. You can find that on the EFRA Facebook page, I think. If you go into the EFRA Facebook, you'll be able to see that. And also there's a link in the RC Racing TV YouTube chat. So I think with our hour and a half enforced break, again, it's completely out of the club's control. And even the weather has to force this break. We do have to stop running from noon to 1:30. So there's not enough time to get in the semifinals. So let me just see. I don't think anything has changed on the schedule. I'm just refreshing. So yes, so we've just finished our semifinal A. The next up is going to be the semifinals B and A. The first ones will be kicking off at 1:30. That's 13:30 Central European time. So if you're watching us in the UK, that will be 12:30 your time. And if you're watching us from Australia or the US, obviously, please adjust the time zones to your local area. So we will be back anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes before the start of the next race, which is, again, at 1:30 Central European time. We're going to start with the semifinal B and then the semifinal A. Those are both 20-minute races. And then we'll have a practice period of, I think, just 10 minutes for the 4 drivers who have qualified directly into the main final. And those drivers are Dario Balestre, Yilis Grosskamp, Tony Gruber, our current and reigning European champion in this class, and also Alex Thurston qualifying directly into the main final for the first time. So fabulous job for Alex. And yeah, so that is it for us right now. We will close out with our thanking our sponsors, X-Ray Lens Bodies and RCXX Shop. For the moment, this has been RC Racing TV. My name is Frank McKinney. On the microphone, we have Matt back in the studio and Jim Little on the moving camera for us. So we'll be back at about 1:30, a few minutes before 1:30, I should say. So thank you once again to our sponsors, who you will hear from now.